to another inspired series. Today I have a special guest. It's my beautiful friend, fellow actress, author, amazing, brilliant, talented artist, Tina Alexis Allen. I started working with Tina at the Susan Batson studio, which is our studio in New York, where we work with the greatest mentor, Susan Batson. And I saw Tina do her one-woman show.
Yeah. One-man show.
Exactly, because she played her father. And it was so inspiring that actually that was the reason that got me to create my one-woman show.
Playing Frida Kahlo, which was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Tina's written a book since we met at the studio. And the book is an expansion of her, actually it's a memoir, it's an expansion of her play,
Hiding Out.
And would you like to say a few words
about
without
the book?
Yeah.
So after I wrote my solo show and played my father off Broadway, I decided to write a book from my point of view. So the show was from his point of view, right, as him. And then I thought, I want to tell my story, my version of what all the craziness that happened in my life. So I wrote Hiding Out, and it's been published by HarperCollins, and I hope to turn it into a TV series. It just came out this past year, and I don't know, it's just been a culmination of truth-telling as an actor, a writer, a producer, and now an author.
I listened to the audio version of this book, and I would drive for like hours just so that I can hear the next chapter. And it was so interesting, so compelling. There's so many characters, and when Tina told me about her idea to turn the book into a TV series, I really got it when I read the book or when I listened to her audio book, because it was so captivating. And as she tells the story and about her life, I've seen so many characters and adventures, and it's so rich and well written. You've done a great job, Tina.
Thank you. Well, I guess we should tell them that I'm the youngest of 13 kids. So there are a lot of characters, but mainly the book is about my father and myself, and just a roller coaster ride that you wouldn't believe it if it weren't true. There's Vatican connections, there's clubs and drugs. In fact, the subtitle is Hiding Out, a memoir of drugs, deception, and double lives. So there's a lot of secrets and lies that get revealed, and
So brave of you to share yourself so openly with the world, Tina.
Yeah, you know, I feel that when you own your story, really own it, you're not of it anymore. You're just, it happened. It's not, doesn't define me. Yes, it in a way made me who I am, but it's not defining my daily life anymore. So writing it was really freeing, and I just feel like it's given other people a lot of permission to tell their truth and release any secrets that they might be holding, whether it's in their families or their, their current life, because there's a lot of baggage in secrets.
And was it also healing for you a bit? I know you've done a lot of work as an artist. We all do a lot of transformational work, but the writing itself.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go into this like a cathartic experience where I hadn't said this before. I hadn't dealt with it, as you said, as an artist, also in my own therapies, and writing this solo show. I've actually done a couple autobiographical shows. A lot of the healing was done, but I think sharing it with the world had a cathartic that doing the audiobook was actually one of the most fun and in a way cathartic experiences of all of it, because I was then saying it out loud, which was different than just writing it, but actually to speak it and play all the characters. I
enjoy listening to audiobooks. They just make a long ride more interesting. Usually I'm listening to books that are about mindset and transformation, but this was the most fun audiobook.
Well, it does have a few wild and crazy characters. I'll leave it at that.
So now Tina is working on another project. As actors, we get to collaborate with other artists, and sometimes we want to play characters, and we get to write those characters. And Tina did just that. She wrote a short film that she's now producing.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about the story.
Yeah. So the script I wrote is called Mind Games, and it's basically about power, sexuality, and how we use power in relationships, both to be close and sometimes also to move away. So these two women explore sort of a dominant and submissive relationship on the basketball court and off. So my past includes gold medal in the U.S. Youth Games, and I went to college on a basketball scholarship. As you know, basketball's been in my life since I was a little kid, so it seemed time to make a film that had a basketball theme, as at least in the world of basketball. So we're going to shoot the end of May. We have an Indiegogo campaign.
In light of what I just said, that acting requires other people's collaboration, I will share your Indiegogo campaign, and if you feel inclined to contribute to make this project happen and be part of a creative process, here's your opportunity.
There's also a basically the website. The link will take you to the website so you can watch the video, which talks more about the film, and you can see some fun basketball stuff. And I'm not going to give it away, but you better watch it till the end, because there's a really cool surprise at the end of the very short video that explains the project. But you'll put a link to that.
I will,
yeah.
for sure.
We're laughing because we know what the surprise is.
Yes. And just to go back to your book, because you're sharing your family secrets, so to speak, exactly. What was the reaction from your family members? Were they surprised? Did they like that you told your truth, or was there some conflict?
Well, it definitely is a mixed bag. So, you know, with 12 brothers and sisters, there's going to be a lot of different opinions just because there's 12 people. Some people in my family were very supportive of me owning a very, very complicated childhood. A very complicated and at times traumatic, childhood. And it's most of everything that's in this book my family knew. So there weren't like big bomb drop surprises, including things about my dad that are sensitive, but are also the truth. And so I would say basically it's a mixed bag. There are some that are really super glad that I supported myself in the sense of, emotionally, spiritually, by writing this book. And then there are a few that, would like to keep family secrets. And in every family, there are going to be people that would prefer to keep things under the rug. And that's not me. I have too big of a story, and I feel an obligation in a way to say what happened, because I can see the response has been inspiring to people to go, if she made it through that and she was able to overcome that and live a really productive, happy life, then I have a shot at the same thing.
That was exactly what I was going to ask. What was the reaction from people who read it? I mean, I said to you, even privately, that it's so entertaining. It's a beautiful book, even though there are some hard things described in there, but nonetheless extremely entertaining.
I did a book club last night. I Skyped various book clubs around the world, and so these women that were probably in their generally 50s and 60s were this book club in Maryland, outside of DC. And one of the women said, I wasn't going to read the book but I ended up at the last minute getting it on Friday, and I read it in 3 days. So I said, well, why didn't you, what made you not want to read the book? And she said, well, the subtitle, the drugs, the deception, and the double lives maybe wasn't her cup of tea. She thought, oh, I'm going to read a drug book, which is not what this is at all. But that's the kind of response. And then people who have shared very personal things, like, on Facebook, or private messaging me on Instagram to say, I was able to tell my husband this or my wife this, or I've kept this secret from my family forever, and thank you for being, so open and transparent, because that helped me. So
Amazing.
that's the kind of feedback, and that's why I wrote the book, really.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tina. I feel like I want to share the stories from the book and tell you all about it,
Yeah.
but then it kind of like
Yeah.
loses its
Yeah.
essence if I reveal anything.
Well,
And
we'll
so-
say this. You've never read a story like this. We promise you that. You've also never seen a father-daughter wacky relationship is a nice way to say it, like this. You wouldn't believe it if it weren't true. So we'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. Very well said. And there are characters in the book that you want to dislike, and then you change your mind because you see their humanity. So
Yes.
it's just a mix of emotions and thoughts and feelings about these people. I think that's human life is.
Yeah,
really.
it's complicated.
You cannot really judge because you
Yeah.
never know what someone's going through and
So
why
true.
they're like that, and God knows what their parents were like. And so I guess the lesson would be have compassion and no judgment towards others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing last thing I'll say about the book is that I hold myself as accountable as I do anyone else that's affected my life. So I don't pull punches with my own behavior. I let that hang out on the clothesline too. And I think that gives people permission to sort of enter and go, oh, this isn't a story about pointing fingers. This is a story about, this is what happens in a family where you keep secrets.
Exactly.
And every family understands that to a lesser degree or a bigger degree. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tina, for joining
Yes,
me.
thank you. And thank you
sharing-
all for jumping in and watching us today.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your inspiration through all your work, through your acting and writing, and now producing your own short film.
Yeah, Mind Games. I don't know if we said that.
No,
said the
we did
title.
not.
Mind Games. Maybe we did. But anyway,
Um,
that's the short film. You'll find it on the links.
Thank you for watching, and I will see you